All right. So I made a video that answered a question, and then another question came back. How are we free if we're always getting jacked with? All right. So where does freedom come from? Freedom comes from, and freedom is Jesus. The freedom Freedom comes from and is Jesus. It can start off intellectually when you read scriptures, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, other scriptures that let you know death no longer has authority, dominion over the believer, that death, hell, and the grave have been conquered through Jesus, that guilt, shame, and condemnation have been conquered as well, that we are no longer rejected by God, but accepted through the sacrifice of Jesus, which is, fancy term is substitutional or penal substitutional atonement, which means he did the time for our crime. But wait, there's more. How do we be free? Not only has the time for the crime been paid, but it is a restoration of relationship through that atonement. So, yeah, the debt has been paid, but also there is restoration in relationship so that when he sees us, whether you're guy or girl, he's like, a few things happen. This is my son in whom I am well pleased. Actually, if you're a daughter of God, it's my beloved in whom I am well pleased, that we are defined by the cross. And it is a payment in perpetuity. It is a restoration in the same way. It is forever. And so the freedom comes through a spiritual interaction between us and him, between our spirits and his, where it is his love. Romans 7 and 8. It is, it is the love of God shed abroad in our hearts, where we cry, Abba, Father, whereas whatever expression God has given you of interacting with him, with his spirit, whatever that may be, that is our strength of the covenant, which is a promise that is an everlasting covenant that can't be broken, that has been established, that is in operation. It is not always that we have to experience things to believe them, but there are experiences to have after you believe. And if you have no experience at all, it can be by faith that we are redeemed, that we are forgiven, that we are beloved. And it is, we're not always getting jacked with. The outside might be chaotic, but it can be the internal peace and love and joy, whatever is happening in your heart, that where you know he's with you. And let's say you don't have anything happening, because I don't want to make it all about senses, but there's quite a bit of it is. But let's say you don't. Okay. It is by faith that you walk by faith, that you believe these things. It is not blind faith, it is faith once you learn his scripture that you go, okay, I might not understand it, I might not feel it, but I will simply go by faith and know that my life is not my own and it is his and it is good, and that the good thing he has started in me he will bring to completion, and that though Satan may be around me at all the time, he has nothing in me. He does not own my heart, my mind, my emotions. And by faith, I know that God owns my mind, my heart, my emotions, and that his thoughts towards me are good and not bad, and that the good thoughts he has towards me are more than the number of sands in the sea. A lot of it is by Scripture. Scripture's great. There, and then there's, because once you know that, it goes from here to here, but then there's more to this in a good way. It's like how do we live when he's always jacking with us? Once you know we are not his and that he cannot win, that's the freedom. Freedom is interior. It can be, actually, even if you're in jail, you might be a prisoner, but in your heart you are free, and in your mind you are free, yeah, that's it. So the freedom is internal, it's mental and emotional, and it comes from him, and it is him in us and with us, around us. So, that's how you get the freedom. You don't go, like, I like peace around me, don't get me wrong, but just because there's not peace around me doesn't mean I can't have peace in me. And we don't go by our surroundings. Let's say Satan's around us. It doesn't matter. Satan was around Adam and Eve, and before they fell, he had no effect or influence on them. It was only after the fall that he had effect and influence. And we have been restored to, that, beloved sonship, or, your daughter in good standing with God. So he might be around us, Satan, but he has no influence or effect on us in a long-term, permanent way. And then with God, all right, then I'll keep going, because there's something I haven't talked about. There is his spirit, God's spirit, bearing witness with our spirit that we are beloved. That's where the peace comes in huge. And even if you have the smallest movement of God, you just perceive something small, the smallest bit of light defeats infinite darkness. So you don't need, to levitate and walk on water and talk to angels. Nothing wrong with that. I like it. But let's say you simply have a peace that passes all understanding. You're gold. So that's the freedom. And it is, and then eventually can be physical too. Like if something's bothering you, or an addiction, you can be free from it, because he brings us out of a wrong lifestyle, habits, ideas, patterns, into a proper one that is him, because we become what we behold. And if we behold him, we become like him in this world, in this life now, and in the next life for eternity. So, that's what I think about that. Have a good day. Goodbye.